All right, so here we are. I'm showing you what we have right here is a Ford, all right there. And we have a Ford because, well, I like them. I don't know. I'm just a glutton for punishment, I guess, because sometimes they break down. Sometimes a part that was put on it um, fails. And sometimes it's a part on that gets in here that fails, and you have to tear apart a lot of stuff. You got to take out stuff, and you have to undo stuff, and you got to tie it up out of the way. And sometimes it's a pain in the ass. But you know what? If I would have paid somebody else to do this job, I'd be looking at probably $700 to $800, right? I mean, because the little hose that goes right here, and it goes right here to really close to right here where the water pump is, and it's kind of thin. It's kind of thin walled. Why would they do that? Because I think it earns a dealership $700 or $1,000 to do a water pump, right? Because that's the only way you can get to that hose is if you take out the water pump. And to take out the water pump, then you got to take out all these bolts that run through a different kind of metal. And I learned when I was young that that causes electrolysis and it can cause corrosion. And so they do that. And then, but we got to look at this as opportunities that are happening for us because you know what? Would I rather get a little greasy and spend a few hours of my time unbolting things and bolting things back up and cleaning things and putting on like little gaskets and stuff? It's not really that hard. I mean, like that was way dirtier than what it was after I started scraping on it. And that's going to be probably good enough, I think. I don't know. There's a couple little spots I'll probably clean up a little bit more before I throw the gasket material to it. But anyway, um, when I bought this truck, I didn't go to a dealership. I went to Marketplace, and at Marketplace, this truck was only $2,300. And I was like, wow, and it's only like 40 miles away. So, I mean, I'm an adventurer, and so why not? So I asked my mom and dad, I said, hey, can you guys run me like over here, and I'm gonna pick up a truck, and hopefully it will make it all the way back home, right? And they were sports about it. We brought a tow rope just in case, and I test drove the truck and gave the guy the money and drove back. So, but it wasn't running very well, and so I replaced some things. And thanks to my friend Bubba, he says, "Oh well, hey, things like to be grounded." And I was like, "Hey, you're right. Even people like to be grounded, right?" And if if we like to be grounded and a vehicle likes to be grounded, then it needs to have all the grounds hooked up. And so that was one of the first things that we did was hook up grounds that had come disconnected. And once we did that, it ran a lot better. And then I replaced a few sensors and gave it some good, fuel cleaner and just did some basic stuff. Oh, and then it needed a new radiator. So put in a new radiator. That was one of the first things. So, but really, I mean, I don't think I have less. I think I have less than $3,000 invested in this truck, and it's already done a lot of work for me. And as I'm fixing it up, the value is just improving, right? So, I mean, because I wouldn't sell the truck for $2,300 anymore, and I wouldn't even sell it for what it cost me to get it to where it is, because my time is worth something, right? And if I got frustrated with everything that happened to this, then that frustration is worth my money too, right? It's a little worth my time. So I realized that people weren't mechanics until they became a mechanic, and the more you practice on something, the better you get. And so if you like to troubleshoot, if you like to fix problems, mechanicking is actually kind of fun, and it's a practice in patience because sometimes it's really hard to get to the right bolt and then to be able to get enough torque on that bolt to get it off. and you hope it don't break, because then if it breaks, oh yeah, then you got to tear it in even farther, and then you've got to drill a hole, and you've got to try to get that bolt out of there, and it can a 2 hour job can turn into a 20-hour job with the flip of a wrist. So you want to make sure those flips of your wrists are pretty intentional. Anyway, so I got to start putting this thing back together, and I don't have like a videographer, so you get what you get. Don't throw a fit.